All right, welcome, kings and queens. Listen, we have to have a very serious conversation here. Y'all, Melody's team is not playing, okay? They're not playing. They're not going to sit back and play coy and allow people to tarnish her hard work, her reputation. And they have come to the forefront to say 2023 will be different. We're not protecting anyone. Here's what you don't know. And we're going to set the record straight. And I can appreciate that because I feel like for quite some time, all of us as viewers were wondering, at least let me speak for myself. I've always wondered, when is everybody going to speak up? When will Melody stop playing nice and just call a thing a thing? There has to be more to this. And I understood from the perspective of a wife. And I also understand considering the dynamics of having children. But I think it's come to the point where Melody, her team, and other folks involved can no longer stand to protect Martell Holt without their reputations being put on the line. Now, if said producers and said other people would like to protect Martell because Martell may have a little bit of dirt on them and they may have, quote unquote, become a little bit too chummy with Martell, that's on them. But as for Melody and her team moving forward in 2023, honey, her manager has spoken. Dawn has said, we will no longer protect this man. She didn't say those words. I am just paraphrasing, but I am so glad, Queen, that you came to the forefront as an African-American woman to say enough is enough. Are y'all ready to get into this? For those of you who are just tuning in, or if you're new to the channel, welcome. I am Queen Sheba. I cover a variety of hot topics specific to reality television. But most importantly, I hone in on the psychological and the behavioral traits of the Black experience. First of all, let me say, we learned a lot last night from Winter Williams. I'm going to call her the leading lady. I'm sorry, because Winter came in by storm and took the leading lady role of Love and Marriage DC last season. She literally saved that show, in my opinion, okay? Because the couples were not given what they needed to. Now, Winter did state that there's some new dynamics in place, and we're going to absolutely love season 2. Why am I talking about Love and Marriage DC? Okay? Because she gave us some really important things that we should consider when it comes to Love and Marriage Huntsville. Number 1, she says the producers do not make you talk about anything that you do not want to talk about. So if there's a cast member or a group of people that appear to be toxic, it's because they want to be and not because they're being told to do that or nudged along to attack. If they're attacking because they want to attack. That's the first thing. The second thing is she also stated that the differentiation between Love and Marriage Huntsville and the cast between Love and Marriage DC is that they understand, the cast of Love and Marriage DC understand the well-being of the show. They're able to come to work, do their jobs, but when lights, camera, action go off, everybody goes back to being healthy behind the scenes. That's number 2, okay? Number 3, someone asked her about editing. They said, we've heard people from Love and Marriage Huntsville say, oh, the producer edited me that way. And she says, I hate when people use that excuse because you had to put that out there in order for them to even cut it. That means to be able to snip it. Okay. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of insight into why you have one franchise that seems to be moving right along and another franchise where it seems to be very toxic, triggering, and obnoxious behavior. Let's get into it. I wrapped up the season of Love and Marriage Huntsville with my final review. So when I wrapped up with my review, I was very, very intentional about calling out the toxic behavior of Martell Holt. Okay? I'm sorry. I could not let it go. As a blogger, as a content creator. And not only that, I'm sorry, I also called out Carlos King, because at some point you have to draw the line. You know, for whatever reason, you have to draw the line. And based on Carlos's claims of Martell posing a threat to himself, I developed my commentary around that. Ooh, y'all. Let me just say something as bloggers. Keep up the damn good work. Keep up the good work, because you never know who's watching. You never know who's looking. Keep up the good work of what you're doing, because we are being heard. People are looking. People are watching. And be true to yourself. Be true to your style. Be true to what you do best. I know there's a lot of pressure sometimes, and there's a fine line I'm pretty sure that we all struggle with as content creators. Do I say this? Do I not say that? Who will this piss off? But at the end of the day, it's your page. Be true to yourself. So why am I saying that? Well, I don't know how this video got around, this commentary, but Melody's team showed up and they had something to say. This show is so toxic, triggering. It's very heavy. And it's not because of everybody. Now that we know, when Winter came up and she says, oh, no. That's their decision to remain there. The producers do not make you do anything. That gave me so much insight. And it seems like everybody else is starting to come to the forefront to share, y'all, the real truth of what has happened behind the scenes for the past 2 years as Melody Cherie has struggled to detach herself from this toxic relationship with her ex, and also just having to figure out how to get creative with dealing with a man that just will not leave you alone. Dawn stopped by and she said, as Melody's manager, I must say this is an eye-opening review. It certainly gives pause to many things. The viewers have no idea of the torment that Melody has had to press through on many a day for the last 2 years. She says, I do want to say that insofar as her career, Martell is the one. What? Hold on, y'all. This is me now. She said Martell is the one who pushed her career and sold Melody to me as star talent with potential to kill the game. So her career was really no big deal to Martell. He may now feel a certain way because he's no longer able to take part in the success of her career or cheerlead her on. And she was fair. She said, and it's unfortunate because I believe Martell wanted and still wants the best for his ex-wife's career. He knows she's a wonderful mother to their amazing children. She said she was happy to see Martell at the Christmas show for the kids, and he actually came to sit with them. And he seemed to be in good spirits, as he should be, right? Because there's certain people, she insinuated, that Martell knows when he gets around them, they're not going to have that. You're not going to act up over here because some of us will pull our belts out. She said as a married couple, they did share their dreams and visions with each other for years. Y'all, of course. That's what we're supposed to do as married couples, right? As not just married, a power couple. She called that out, that they were a power couple. And she said, I am sure Melody wants his mental health intact and wants him to be successful as well. Melody goes hard on any project or endeavor she decides to take on. Singing, be it singing, acting, skincare line, modeling, real estate. Love and Marriage Huntsville, just to name a few, clothing line, and wait until you see what our 30-member team has lined up next. Oh, whoa, hold on. So I didn't know Melody had something else coming down the pipeline. But you guys, I said this on my review. Remember, I said I often wonder why Carlos King hesitates to place Melody in the present. And he often seems to appear to want to connect her or drag her back to what used to be. Carlos, I understand that when Melody and Martell get together, they give magic. In the words of B.B. King, Carlos, the thrill is gone. Carlos, you got to move on. And I believe your attachment to Martell impedes your viewpoint sometimes. And I think deep down inside, you've established a bias. But I'm going to get off Carlos because I already established my viewpoint on Carlos. So let's get back to Dawn. So hold on. Let me make sure. She said, I say this to say any strong single woman has to have a backup plan for all backup plans to win for herself and her children. Many of you may not know that Melody takes care of a lot of others in many ways while she's on her journey. I didn't know that. So I didn't know that. That's something new to me. She said, to whom much is given, much is required. So I cannot allow anyone from the cast to blame my client for not getting their whole life together, as God reigns on the just and the unjust. True success requires a certain act of unselfishness. I usually do not get so heavily involved, but I've got time today and will be making time moving forward. I'm unnerved of the untruths being told about our beloved client. Melody is a baby next to some of these people over 40. That is true. Melody is the youngest member of the cast. These people are well into their 40s. She makes a good point. Yeah, you make a really good point. The viewers have not had the opportunity to see Melody's growth as a woman on the show because of the few who have not grown up yet. You know what? Dawn, you may be right. Because Winter shared that last night. If a cast member refuses to move on, the producer cannot make them. She didn't say she said they don't force them to do anything they don't want to do. And I think Carlos King solidified that and confirmed that today in his interview, that he says we don't make them do anything. So if that's correct, which I think that's a fact now. We've heard it from somebody that has nothing to do with Love and Marriage Huntsville. That was Winter Williams from Love and Marriage DC. Dawn has nothing to do with Love and Marriage Huntsville. And then we heard it from Carlos King. No, we don't force them to do nothing. So if all of them are clinging on to Melody to impede her storyline, because you know what? I got a bone to pick with you, Melody. I want to stay exactly right here when you used to have the blonde hair, or when we used to be married, or that time you said this. Yeah. We have not seen nor had the opportunity to witness her growth. So Dawn says, I pray that they understand the assignment very soon, because we are not here to play about Melody for 2023 on out. This calendar year is epic. God is protecting her and will continue to exalt his favorite. We are believers, and that's how we will continue to make great strides for Melody. We do not play about her, and God doesn't either. I thank you all. I thank all of the Melometers for their continued support. Thank you, Dawn. Thank you. Because after a while, it seemed like Melody was out there on an island by herself. Miss Van has shown up many a times for her daughter, but I am so relieved as an African American woman to see people like yourself in the background. And I understand your position, Queen, as a manager, as a talent manager, right? who has to reserve a bit of your thought, a bit of your commentary and your feedback, right? Because it's like, do I not? And I understand it. And probably for the past 4, 5, 6 years, you didn't say anything. I'm glad you came to the forefront now. We needed this. We needed to get a little bit more of a background perspective from someone who is not directly attached to this saga. I feel better about my mental health assessment regarding Martell needs some type of intervention. I still do not feel like Carlos King is the person to do that. I still feel like in some Carlos may have gotten too close to the cast to see the bigger picture. Listen, y'all. Wow. Melody, we send you our continued prayers. Cream always rises to the top. It's my hope that the cast members will take heed to what the viewers are saying, and they will move on in the well-being and in the strength of the show. That's my hope. Thank you all for tuning in.